everybody? Welcome to the Comic Gaming Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review episodes 3 and 4 of The Last of Us. Now, this show is showing, honestly, it's a work of art. It's a masterclass in how you do adaptations. This is how you do it. And the show pisses me off because it's one of those shows that's like, yeah, this is how you do an adaptation of a fucking video game. And now, granted, it's not the only way to do one. As many of you know, I thought that last Sonic movie was fucking awesome. Okay, not fucking awesome, but it was fun. It was extremely fun and very likable, and it had so many things that involved the Sonic world and franchise that I thought it did enough. It did enough to make me appreciate it, especially on that level. But this Last of Us show it's textbook. It's exactly how you do it. Now, granted, I have not played, or at least I haven't played past the beginning part of the first video game. So some of the finer details, some of the Easter eggs, some of the other notes, I haven't caught because I never played it. But for the most part, I do know the visual stylings, I do know the character dynamics, and particularly that first beginning part of the video game, I know very well. And this show, it just continues to be the best video game adaptation of all time. Already, only 4 episodes in. Yeah, only 4. No. What was it? Be 5? 4 episodes in, and it's still showing to be the best video game adaptation of all time. I mean, you could, like I said, you could argue Castlevania. You could argue, what the fuck, Arcane. But those are animated things. You got The Witcher out there doing a pretty decent enough job. There are some live action adaptations. Detective Pikachu, I enjoyed that. There are some live action adaptations that are out there trying to do a pretty good job. But this is the best thing ever done. This is the best live action adaptation ever done. And episode 3 was kind of a bottle episode, and it was a very divisive episode for a multitude of reasons. The main reason being that it revolved around a homosexual couple. It really, that's basically what it revolved around, is a gay couple. And the thing about it is that episode 3 is a bottle episode. And if you don't know what I mean, bottle episodes are just these self-contained episodes that are these self-contained episodes with this small story. It's like it's almost a short story kind of thing. Now, it takes place in the same world, and there are things that, help the main arc of the show, but for the most part, it's just a self-contained episode. It's about 50 minutes. It's about what was episode 3? Episode 3 was like, I can't remember if that was an hour. It's about like 50-something minutes. And really, the episode revolves around a main protagonist played by the amazing Nick Offerman. I gotta put that out there because that guy is such a great actor. He's such a great actor. He's a really good comedian. A lot of people know him from Parks and Rec. But yeah, he's great, Nick Offerman. And he plays Bill, and Bill is it kind of cuts back in time. Bill's an acquaintance of Joel. But we kind of cut back in time to meet Bill before the apocalypse happened, before everything went to shit, before the clickers and all these other fungus, parasitic, plague things ever happened. Bill was kind of a doomsday prepper kind of guy. He was a doomsday prepper, survivalist, whatever you want to say. He was that. And, he was one of those guys he's one of those conspiracy theories guys. He's one of those guys who didn't believe in the government. He's one of those guys who kept all his money and, put it all into a doomsday situation. And he was ready. And essentially, like these things tend to turn out, he was ready for this apocalypse. Because the government comes in and clears out his small town, and he is ready. He had a plan. You know how you and the boys, the boys or the girls, you'll sit there and you'd say, we all do this. Like, what will we do when the apocalypse happens? If the zombie plague happens, what will we do? Where will we go? We all have these theories. We all have these plans. But the majority of the time, if the shit actually went down, none of us would remember to do it because we'd be freaking out. None of us would remember to do it. None of us would have the balls to do it. Bill ain't like us. Bill had a plan. He knew exactly what he was going to do. He knew exactly how to do it. He knew exactly where he was going to go in the town once the town was evacuated. He knew the town to be evacuated. He knew all this shit because he's a conspiracy nut job. So, of course, this time he was right. And by the time, and when everyone was gone, man, within the course of maybe a few days, that motherfucker has an electric fence around the entire town, or at least around a massive section of the town. He has an electric fence up, he has a perimeter, he has booby traps, he's already raided all the stores, he's raided all this shit. He is ready to survive on his own. He's happy being on his own, Bill. And I kind of appreciated that because Bill reacted a lot like I would think I would react, which is I would hope that I'd be prepared, right? All of us hope that we would react like Bill and be that fucking prepared for the apocalypse. But Bill was, he was kind of a lonely dude. He was a lonely man. He hated the world. He hated himself deep down, and as many people who are in the closet do. So he hated the world. He hated himself. And he literally created a cage around himself. A cage in which would have made him miserable eventually. But along comes a man. And he meets this other guy. And he meets this guy, falls in one of his traps. And he meets him. And they fall in love. And it's this beautiful love story that's done so well. And this is like Sex Education is a show that I love, and particularly for how it handles the what's the word I'm looking for? How it handles same-sex situations, gay situations, lesbian situations, just these, LGBTQ situations in general. How it handles it because the way you handle these type of situations with same sex or whatever is you just have to handle it like it's a normal thing. One, you have to handle it like it's a normal thing. And two, you cannot beat people over the head with it. If you beat people over the head with it, you come off preachy. The best way to handle it is just like they handled it in episode 3 of this, which is they told a beautiful love story that did not beat you over the head with the fact that this is two men, that this is a gay couple. It could have been told with a woman or a man or a man. There is literally nothing you could have changed about this love story. You could have told this, and that's what made it great, because it wasn't pandering. This just happened to be a man and a woman. But when you watch this story, it's like there's nothing about it that isn't. It's just this beautiful love story. And I didn't expect that. I didn't go into episode 3 expecting to watch this beautiful love story. And you gotta understand, I'd be watching these episodes a little later than other people, which is why my reviews go up so much later. So I had already heard that there was some gay thing that people were freaking out. Oh, there's a gay couple. I'm like, okay, whatever. I thought it was just gonna be some background shit. But no, that's the centerpiece of it, is this love story. And Bill having to let someone in for the first time ever. Be comfortable with another person, with an individual, someone who sees him for who he is. And one of the most saddest, I don't even know what to say, because because Nick Offerman is a very manly dude. He plays a character in Park where he's a very hairy, manly dude. He's got his thick beard and whatnot. So you seeing him when him and the dude first get together and they're about to do something, because he had never done anything before. You just get the feeling, because he's playing this role that this is a man in his 50s who. This man is in his late 40s, late 40s, early 50s, if you want to say that, who had spent his entire life knowing that he was wrong to be into men, and he never even pursued it. He wanted to, but he didn't, and he hated himself for it. But then he let another man in, and he wanted to pursue this, and he was so scared and so fragile. It was so weird. I was just so scared for him. Because it was just this terrifying leap of faith he was taking, and the look on his face and the terror in his eyes. He was just scared. And I was like, man, dude, man, this is some good acting, dude. Like, this is some good acting. That was some of the best acting in the show, of a lot of great acting. This episode had some amazing acting. So episode 3 was definitely, in terms of acting, in terms of this heartfelt story and the conclusion of it and how it all went down. Sure. Some would argue that the episode didn't add much to the bigger story, but still, I loved episode 3. Episode 4 picks up after that one. We get Ellie and Joel finally make it to the house. You know, they end up finding out what happened to Bill and his lover and whatnot. And they take the equipment and they hit the road. And Ellie and Joel are slowly starting to become more, what's the word I'm looking for? Connected. Like that the father and daughter dynamic is starting to take root. The way she interacts with him, and he is relaxing with her. He's relaxing with her, and the way she interacts with him, you can see the father-daughter dynamic starting to take root. He's starting to see her as more than just cargo, as he said. Later on in the episode, in fact, at a certain point, Ellie finds a gun, and she saves him. And at that point, he really starts to go into dad mode, because now, like, he starts to see her face and he starts to see her reaction, and like I said, he goes into dad mode and he wants to protect her. He wants to help her learn to shoot. He starts to trust her. He starts to trust her with the gun. He starts to trust her helping him do things. Like in the video game, there are many references to the video game, by the way, but many little small references to the video game. But just like in the video game, he slowly starts to trust her. He slowly starts to help her, you know, do things, and she's helping him. And it's like slowly but surely they are growing faith in one another. But unfortunately, like on the way to find this QZ or whatever, to drop her off with some more of those fireflies, they get a little bit lost and get fucking attacked by some fucking crazy wahoos. They get attacked by this gang of people who are just out here in the middle of nowhere, in this town, trying to survive, and they have to fight them off, and now those people are hunting them down, and it's a lot going on. We don't know why these people are hunting them, because the leader is some chick who's looking for this Henry dude who wronged her apparently, and now she's trying to hunt this dude down, and like everybody's connected to Henry. I'm like, okay, I don't know who this Henry dude is, but you're connecting everybody to Henry. And so the 4th episode is really the setup. It's a setup episode. It's character stuff, character growth, it's more character building and setup. Some people really didn't like that 4th episode. I still enjoyed the 4th episode, but I will admit the 4th episode doesn't pack as, which is weird, it doesn't pack as much oomph as the last couple episodes. Maybe it's because the last couple episodes were such acting like juggernauts with these performances that this week's episode was mostly just set up for the next week's episode. But there was still some great acting. Obviously, seeing Ellie's face when she shot a man was very heartbreaking, and seeing her reaction to hearing him die was heartbreaking, and Joel trying to talk to her about killing people is heartbreaking. The whole situation is just saddening, and you just see Joel just like, I want to keep her innocence, you know? You never want to see a child's innocence leave her like that, but when you're in this harsh world, it's just like, and you know, if you played the video games, especially if you played the sequel game, you know where this is going with Ellie. We know what she becomes. We know that eventually, you know, minor spoilers here, she becomes something not too dissimilar to Joel. So, you know, it's sad. It's gonna be sad. Like it's gonna be sad to see her slowly become something similar to Joel. It's gonna be sad to slowly see her grow accustomed to death, and that's just the world they live in. And it's gonna be an interesting journey. But yeah, episodes 3 and 4 were fantastic. They were great. I give episode 3 a 10 out of 10. Episode 4 a 9 out of 10. This show is fantastic. It's still living to its heights. I can't wait to see more. Saturday night is gonna be Sunday. No. Ain't it coming out Friday? I think the next episode's coming out tomorrow because of the Super Bowl. So I'll fucking be talking about that tomorrow. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comedy Move Show again. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.